Hey everybody, good morning. Show and tell time again. 48-284, our latest release, which is the F-16 Nellis Cajun Aggressors. This paint scheme, as far as the wing color tail scheme, was designed by my boy Grant Little, who's designed some other paint schemes for other Navy adversary aircraft. So it's good to see his artwork here on a jet once again. So let's get into it. So you can see here the front of the instruction sheet. There's markings here for 2 complete aircraft. This guy here, the wing jet, and then let's go enhanced here for a second. Yeah, there we go. And then the half glass dark jet that came from the guys in San Antonio. So both are Block 30s, but they have the small mouth intake, so be aware of that when you put this guy together. So yeah, let's get into more details here on the yeah, pretty intense graphics here. It'll take a little while to load. So you can see the 167 pods here. So these are so there's a common pod body. We'll get into that. You can see the differences in the Angry Kitten. We'll get into that here in a minute. But yeah, you can see paint scheme markings, nothing really crazy as far as stencil data goes, standard markings on the intakes that you see on Aggressor aircraft, and of course the big O set of markings on the tail. And then you got some fleur-de-lis here on the ventral strakes. So again, Block 30 aircraft. You got the IFF aerials here on the nose. We can get down to the bottom jet, or the other side rather, of the aircraft. Nothing crazy as far as stencils go. Okay, so the half glass jet. Again, guys, lots of nodes and stencils here and graphics here in regards to the 167 pod. So here we go. Okay, so you can look at this guy here. Half glass paint scheme, gray stencils. No numbers on the intake, squadron and wing markings here. There might be some other markings they put on these aircraft later on, but they really needed to get them in the barn and get them out flying. So this is pretty much all you'll see with this specific paint scheme. Zoom in here a little bit more on the stencils. Okay, pretty standard stuff. Okay, when we get down to the pods, now this is kind of cool. So we got markings in here for let's see here, 1, 2, 3. I can remember how many I did here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So all of these have the same generic markings on them as far as the Angry Kitten sticker, the Airborne Threat Simulation sticker, ACC, and then no cat or jettison on the turtleback on the actual pod. So these are 167 pods. If you guys are familiar with these are originally developed by the U.S. Navy. And what makes it an Angry Kitten is as far as the physical attributes of it are the antennas here are a little bit different, different plugs as far as on the body. This is a modular design, so they can add or take away this plug area here to make the pod what it is. So as far as the names go, so I know the guys at GTRI, and they're the ones that did the development on this pod. So every single one of these pods is nicknamed one of the engineers that work at GTRI. So there's 16 pods total from what they tell me. These are the ones that we have references on. But every guy in the organization that develops these pods has a name attached to it. So they all have their own little nickname. So if we look at the stores layout here, and then this image up at the top, you'll see the 167 typically is carried on station 3 or 7, and then we give you the traditional standard loadout that these guys fly with, going from 1 to 9. Okay, all right, let's get to the back of the instruction sheet. So you'll see here, little write-up on what the 167 pod is. Some of this stuff you can find on the web. They did a lot of development flying on the MQ-9 Reaper as far as OT&E kind of stuff, and now they fly them on the Viper. So the pods have proven to be so successful in what they do that they actually have decided to start using them in actual ops versus just training. So top of the paint scheme here, pretty nice design by Grant. We got model paint colors here for the different schemes. 25044, you're basically stuck with these two, Mr. Paint and Mr. Color. So there you go. And then the top and bottoms of the half glass scheme. All right, cool. Okay, so the decal sheets themselves. So let's look at the top sheet here. So you can see the tail art is one big decal. The top, this guy here goes on the top of the vertical stab, and then it kind of wraps around on the tail. I would recommend putting this guy on there first, and then putting the big decals on there next. You can see the detail that's went into these squadron and wing patches, and then scroll down here, and you can see the stencils for these. A lot of detail going on there. So we, typical that you guys have seen on our sheets in the last couple of years, that we break up the stencils into these different quadrants, so they're easy to cut out and just set aside in place versus hunting around the entire decal sheet. Here's the markings for the half glass jet. And then we have the walkway stencils for all the aircraft. They're lettered, so you kind of know where to go. The in-flight refueling markings here, this is for the Tamiya kit. This guy here, both of these. Okay. All right, then when you get into the insert, well, hold on, let me get down here. You can see some other stuff. Cool stuff here for the 167. Okay, so here's some markings for the 167. Okay, the generic markings that go on all of them here. And then you'll see Don, Square Zero, and Tax on this main decal sheet. Then when you go to the insert, you get the other cool stuff. You get the Angry Kitten stickers. And then Dana. Pretty cool. And then flaps. So they look really awesome here on the screen. I mean, you can zoom in and see all the detail. It's, limitations of the print capability. I wish you could see all this amazing detail on the actual decal sheet, but I mean, it's small. So, and then on this insert sheet also, the kinetic specific stencils are included. So the latest and greatest kinetic kit, this fits those. Okay. All right, man. Well, that's it. 48284. Pretty popular sheet. We sold probably about, I would say, a quarter to a third of these in the first couple of days they came out. So they won't be around much longer. Are we doing 72nd and 32nd? Yes, for this one we are. I'm hesitant to do it on the Puerto Rico National Guard because it's a little difficult to build ADF Viper in both those scales as far as resin aftermarket parts. I'm not sure how that would do. But you can definitely build a Block 30 with the really high quality kits that are out there by Tamiya and Tamiya. So that'll come out in a combo sheet here later on. So look for that in both of those scales. So $16, pretty solid deal as always, especially when you get all these 167 markings. So in regards to the 167 pod, there's a couple of guys out there that make that pod. It doesn't come with the kit. But the Angry Kitten specific version, you can, I think Sierra Hotel makes a pretty nice one. I'm sure there's other guys that do it, but that's where you can source that pod. All right, very cool. All right, 48284, Nellis Cajun Aggressors, $16. All right, till next month, we'll see you. Bye.